Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for attending this follow-up workshop to the NBCC Congress. Last year in June, we had a wonderful time together in the Maryland area where we fellowshipped and learned and grew in our faith. And so this year we are following up on the workshops. I was one of the presenters last year for Congress, and I am so happy to connect with you again. So welcome, welcome. This is going to be a workshop focusing on taking care of your gut while giving God the glory. So last year we focused on basically taking care of your body while you walked that prophetic call. This year we're going to zone in a little bit and we're going to talk about the gut, which is a huge part of your health. And I'm so happy you're here to get in the weeds with me because that's where I like to go, especially regarding the gut. So who am I? My name is LaSheka LB Morris. I go by LB, and I'm a faith-based nutrition consultant. So I am someone who I help people fuse their health and their faith journey. So thank you so much for attending this pre-recorded workshop sponsored by the National Black Catholic Congress. You can keep in touch with me via email at lb@lbm Health Consulting. And if you stay till the end, I have a little surprise for you. So I hope you enjoy this workshop. I hope you enjoy this deep dive into gut health, all while glorifying God. So what is the gut exactly? The gut, AKA the GI tract, is a long tube that starts at the mouth and ends at the back passage, which is, your behind, the anus. The gut is a part of the digestive system, which includes the mouth, throat, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, rectum, and anus. It also includes your salivary glands, liver, gallbladder, pancreas, which makes up the digestive juices and enzymes that we need that helps break down the food and helps our body digest foods and liquids. So I know a lot of times we don't think about our salivary glands and our gallbladder and our pancreas being a part of that, but it's very vital in our gut. It's all included. So what does the gut do? It is a pathway of organs that takes food that we swallow with our mouth through our esophagus to our stomach and our small and large intestine, where it is digested, absorbed, and what's left over, it leaves the body in feces. This process keeps our body functioning in a healthy manner. So we're supposed to be, of course, incorporating and fusing our health and faith journeys. So what can we do and how does scripture tap into this? So how much more then will the blood of Christ, who through the eternal spirit offered himself unblemished to God, cleanse our consciences from the acts that lead to death, so that we may serve the living God. Hebrews 9:14. So I love this because it talks about the cleansing process of, what our digestive does for our bodies. It sorts. It takes what we do need and what we do not need. It uses what's best out of what we ingest. And that's how the Lord works as well. Matthew 3:11 through 12. So this is John the Baptist talking when he's out in the wilderness baptizing people, and then people ask him about Jesus, and he lets them know. So this is that area of the Bible. So that I baptize you with water, who's repentant of their sins and turn to God, but someone is coming soon who is greater than I, so much greater that I am not worthy even to be a slave and carry his sandals. He will baptize you with the Holy Spirit and with fire. He is ready to separate the chaff from the wheat, which is with his winnowing fork. Then he will clean up the threshing area, gathering the wheat into his barn, but burning the chaff with never-ending fire. So again, here is an amazing imagery of what's needed and what's not, that sorting taking what is valuable and what is not. So again, I love that the Lord had given us this internal sorting process. There's lots of different sorting processes in our body, but when it comes to our gut, is an amazing sorting process of taking what we need, and it disseminates it where it needs to go, and then it gets rid of what we don't need. Another scripture that I thought was a great description of that, or a great example, is Deuteronomy 7:6-8. For you are a holy people to the Lord your God. The Lord our God has chosen you to be a people for himself, a special treasure above all people on earth. I can't see the rest. The Lord did not set his love on you nor choose you because you were more in number than the other people, for you were the least of all peoples, but because the Lord loves you and because he would keep the oath which he swore to his fathers. The Lord has brought you out of a mighty hand and redeemed you from the house of bondage, from the land of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. So, of course, this is Deuteronomy, and he's talking about when the Israelites the Hebrews were delivered out of slavery from Pharaoh. And so, of course, this is that period in the Bible. But I love the scripture. I thought it was a great example because it talks about um, you being chosen, us being chosen by the Lord, and us that we are a special treasure to God, and that we are, a set aside. We are valuable, and that we have been separated from what he deems valuable and invaluable. So I love that. That's a great example of, again, how the Lord has given us this internal sorting process of, again, keeping and holding on to what is valuable, and helping us, get rid of what's not. So what food is right? Well, it depends. If we're malnourished, our gut is prohibited from doing what it has been done or designed to do, as it is absorb the proper nutrients that the body needs. So it helps us, when we ingest our food, it becomes energy. And because we are impeccably and wonderfully designed, we have this sorting and cleansing process that God has created for us. So God gave us our own detox system. You bet he did. Um, so the GI tract supplies a physical barrier for toxins. And so these toxins can be found. We encounter them every day. So I'm always dismayed when, there's so much pressure from, certain parts of society where it's telling you to avoid these toxins and avoid this toxin. And yes, we are to do our due diligence. However, we encounter these toxins every day through our cleaning products, chemicals, tap water, air, um, things that we eat on and eat out of, things that we buy products in. We're going to encounter these toxins, and thank the Lord that he gave us, our GI tract, which supplies this barrier that kind of helps get rid of those toxins. So it is the second vital site in the body for detoxification. The liver is the first. Gut microbes can protect against the absorption of metals and water and food. So again, we're going to encounter these things. It's just how kind of our world is set up, our society is set up, where we're going to encounter these disruptors, that's in our food, and that's in our water, that's in our air, that's in our soil. But if we keep a healthy gut, it can help protect us from these things that are attacking us and that are kind of setting us up. Bacterial cells in the can bind and isolate metals that enter the body. So again, these types of metals and all kind of things that kind of leach on to us and kind of leach in our body. But it's okay, because if we take care of our gut, it can help take care of us. So small intestine. The small intestine is like a food processor. So get that image in your mind. So you kind of see the food processor going. It breaks down your micronutrients. What are your macronutrients? Think of big, right? That's the foundation. Those are your proteins, your carbs, your fats, right? The muscles of the small intestine. So again, those muscles are very strong. They combine food with digestive juices. And these juices come from our pancreas, our liver, and there's already some in our intestines, and it kind of drives the mixture through for further digestion. So it's kind of doing this and it's pushing, and it's pushing. So the walls of the small intestine absorb the water, okay? And it absorbs, and in that water and in those liquids, there's nutrients. So it absorbs the nutrients and it puts those nutrients into our bloodstream. And that and those in the bloodstream carries the nutrients all over our body where it's needed. So our small intestine is very important. The bacteria located in the small intestine creates enzymes. And you need these enzymes. They break down and digest your carbohydrates. That's how you get your energy. That's how, your brain is sharp. And that's how you don't hit that wall at 3 o'clock when you're too sleepy if you have enough carbohydrates. And so I always mess this word up, peristathalis. So it's a wavy kind of contracting, mixing, relaxing kind of, food process persists, right? So it's kind of doing this, and your small intestines are kind of moving around. And the excess, so it gets all the moisture out, it gets all the good stuff out, and the leftover of the digestive process proceeds to the large intestine. So your large intestine, think of it as a compactor, right? So again, the crazy part is your small intestine is, yards long. It's very, very long, but it's, it's narrow. Whereas your large intestine is wider but it's shorter. Okay. And so the undigested parts of food, fluid, older cells. So yes, some old cells and old stuff from the lining of your GI tract and the contents of just excess waste, it goes to this part of the digestive process. The large intestine absorbs water and it moves into your bloodstream, and it also changes the waste. So, because remember, if it was in a processor, think of the consistency of something in the processor. It kind of mushy. It kind of has a little bit of moisture to it. Well, when it moves to your large intestine, all of that liquid is pulled out, and at least most of it, and it's formed into stool. So this is where you need your fiber. Almost like fiber, fiber, fiber. You need your fiber so that things don't get stuck there, okay? Because fiber helps it kind of flow through, okay? And so the bacteria in your large intestines help break down the remaining nutrients and help make vitamin K. Waste production of digestion, it includes parts of foods that are just too large, for your body to absorb, and so it becomes stool. And again, that process, that wavy process that we talked about, that happens again in your large intestine, and it moves from your large intestine to your rectum and becomes stool. So, think of a buddy system when it comes to your, your intestinal support. So the pancreas delivers digestive juices to the small intestines through small tubes called ducts, okay? And the pancreas makes digestive juice that has enzymes that breaks down those macronutrients that we discussed, your fats, your carbs, your proteins. And the bile ducts carry bile from your liver to your gallbladder for storage. So your gallbladder is kind of like a little storage purse. A little storage purse that kind of holds acid, basically. And that's what helps break down your fats. The liver makes digestive juice called bile. It helps digest, like I said, the fats and some vitamins. And so your gallbladder holds, it's a little storage place and stores that bile between meals. And when you eat, your gallbladder squeezes the bile to help break down the fat. And so that's why you'll hear like a lot of diets that doesn't have enough fat. You'll kind of, deal with a lot of acid issues, or maybe your body will become a little more acidic than it needs to be, because, you have that excess bile. Or if you're eating too much fat and your gallbladder can't keep up, then, we'll have other issues. So through those ducts, it squeezes out the bile into your small intestine. So I love the buddy system that, we have with our pancreas and our liver and our gallbladder to help our digestive tract. So what's the catch? The catch. The integrity of the gut is necessary to provide for these various processes. Um, so when you're taking like your antibiotics, steroids, birth controls, your diet's lacking nutrients, um, this can kind of throw off the healthy bacterial balance in your intestines, the integrity of that bacteria, kind of colony. So reseeding the intestines with favorable bacteria creates an optimum balanced environment, protecting the intestines and the rest of the body from dangerous bacterial insurgents. So what that means is that we need to be diligent about putting good bacteria into our intestines, into our gut, so that there is a good balance. So our gut has good bacteria and it has bad bacteria. Both need to be there. There needs to be a balance. And so if we don't have that balance, then, we can have, gut issues, irritable bowel. We can have, yeast infections. We can be backed up. We can have diarrhea, just all kind of issues where our gut is kind of telling us something's not right. There is an imbalance. There's bloating. There's every time you eat something, your stomach is hurting. There's nausea. There's all kind of things. Your body will let you know when your gut is out of whack. So take your probiotics. Take your probiotics, okay? So you have all of these wonderful bacterias that are listed here. I'm not even going to try to pronounce them, but the varieties have demonstrated the ability to bind, absorb, and aid in the elimination of metals, arsenic, lead, and cadmium. And so again, remember I told you about how we will encounter toxins daily. These bacteria will help bind and get rid of those really bad things that can impact our body that we do not need hanging out there. We need them out. And so your probiotics and that balance in your gut helps create an amazing environment so that keeps you healthy, because again, your body can be holding on to these toxins. Your body can be holding on to these dangerous metals and arsenic and lead and all this crazy stuff that does not need to be in our body. It helps get it out. So what can help with that? Fermented foods such as yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut, miso, tempeh, kimchi. Kimchi, I love kimchi. Kimchi is it's a fermented cabbage, and it has like wonderful seasonings and all that. A large part of the Korean community, they eat a lot of kimchi, and I love kimchi. I keep it stocked in my fridge because not only is it gut friendly, it is delicious. Kombucha tea. Watch out for the kombucha teas. I love them, but just make sure that they are not too sugary. Once again, we're not trying to help, mess ourselves up, but we're trying to help ourselves. But all of these items are full of probiotics. Miso soup. I keep miso on hand. Miso is fermented soybean paste. Again, it's amazing for your gut. Yogurt. I wouldn't rely solely on yogurt for gut health, but it is definitely helpful. Why? Because the cultural starters, and we'll get into this a little later, the cultural starters that are in yogurt usually are unable to bypass the stomach and make its way to the intestines. So, but it's still good to have. Sometimes I'll add a little bit more, or if I'm taking my probiotic, it's all good. So what about diet pills, teas, things like that, diet plans? Well, sometimes they can get us on the fast track to nowhere. And so if we fast for too long, it diminishes our body's storage of glutathione. And glutathione is made up of amino acids involved in building our tissues, tissue repair, making the chemicals and proteins we need in our body, and our immune system function. So, and the reason why I brought this up is a lot of times people are like, oh, I need to get my gut right, so I'm just not going to eat anything. I'm just going to drink water. That's not helpful, okay? Don't fast for too long. I wouldn't, think the body starts to freak out about hour 10. And this is if you don't have any like insulin issues like diabetes or anything, but your body thinks it's going into starvation mode, and it will start to do some crazy stuff if it thinks that it's going into starvation mode because you fasted for too long because you think you're trying to cure your gut by fasting. Um, it's cool if, like, let's say you fast for the first part of the day, like from morning. A lot of people do the intermittent fasting. That's fine, but when you fast for too long, or you're not fasting according to your menstrual cycle if you're a woman, because men and women cannot fast the same. Your hormones are different. Think about that. And so when you fast for too long, it can disrupt your gut, and it can disrupt a lot more than your gut. So dietary restrictions. So a lot of times we'll get too, like, I'm going to fix my gut, so I'm just not going to eat. I'm only going to eat this thing. It can lower that, glutathione detoxification in the liver. It can cause low tissue antioxidant status. So we need, again, we're fighting toxins daily. We're think about it, in a spiritual form where, the Lord let us know that we won't be coming up against flesh, we'll be coming up against principalities. Well, think about that. Some is always trying to take our body out. Every 2 seconds we hear, like, this isn't good for you, or this is going to cause cancer, this is going to do this is going to do that. It's all good because the Lord got us, because he gave us a body to withstand that. And so we are to be diligent about taking care of our bodies in those ways. And a major way is to tend to our gut and not abuse it, not go crazy about starving it, because the things that are in our gut, that our gut helps create, such as, the antioxidants and all the cool stuff that we need to combat the things that tries to attack our bodies. We don't want to do damage. We want to do good. Okay. Too much fasting can cause phase 1 detoxification to down regulate. So meaning that it can, your liver thinks like, oh, we're good. And, it won't do its thing. It won't detox like it's supposed to. And we're like, no, we still need you to do your thing. So again, we have to feed our body in a balanced way, assisting our gut so that our body flows in the homeostasis way that the Lord created it to do so. So fasting and alcohol can both induce the CYP450E, and that's the liver metabolism enzymes, family of enzymes leading to unbalanced detoxification. So you can just mess a whole lot of stuff up. If, I know I have a lot of brothers and sisters who think that they're doing good by I'm just going to drink juice for 5 days, or I'm just going to drink water or live on air. And that's not necessarily helping. It's not. There are ways, if you do want to go through a spiritual process where you feel as though, okay, it's St. Paul would say, pushing away the plate. There is a way to do that. And I highly recommend you getting someone like me to help you through that, because there is a way where you can honor your body, and you can assist your various systems without doing damage and still being able to connect to the Lord. So you need to eat for the body to detox. And I know that sounds counterproductive, but it's true. Detoxification is a process that requires energy. It requires calories. It's considered a process of metabolic burden. So it's hard on your body when you're detoxing. So it needs calories. It needs support to do that. For the body to properly detox macronutrients are vital. You need, and again, those macronutrients that we discussed: your fat, your protein, your carbohydrates. And applicable balance of protein, carb, fiber, fat supports a healthy metabolism during your detoxification program. And again, meaning your body's natural detoxification process that we discussed, which is your liver and your gut. Okay. Fasting has many adverse health effects, including the decrease of energy production. We need our energy. Your body needs the energy to run how it's supposed to run. And again, your body will let you know, I'm not advocating not being mindful while you're eating. Listen to your body. It's a whole nother workshop. Listen to your body, and your body will let you know. And if you have to go through the training to do so, that's one of the things I work with a lot of my clients on, is learning to recognize the signs and signals of what your body needs at the time. Am I full? Am I thirsty? What is my body telling me? What do we need? And sometimes we're moving so fast. I'm in a season where I've had just a hard time even just catching my breath. And I'm in this process of taking a breath and taking time to regulate and recalibrate and get back in touch with my body to let me know, hey, what's needed and what's not. Do I need rest? Do I need to do this type of exercise? Do I need more sleep? So on. Your body will let you know. And your body will definitely let you know if something is working with your gut and when it's not. So catabolism of lean tissue. So that's literally, when you have, your oxidative stress. And so what is oxidative stress? So again, that's the daily encounters that your body is going to encounter, the things that's going to stress your body out just by simply living. And then you kind of pile on life on top of that. So your lean muscle, your lean tissue helps combat the damage that does to your body. So again, stress could be a good example of that. The damage of stress, believe it or not, if you keep your muscles healthy, it helps combat the damage that stress will induce on your body. Your body needs to be fueled properly to assist in that. And again, your gut helps with all that, okay? So instead of decreasing nutrient support, again, instead of taking away food, a focused, high-impact source of nutrients is essential, meaning being intentional about what we're putting into our body, and not just, taking the drastic sense of, I'm just not going to eat anything, or, I'm trying to detox my gut. I'm just going to do water and air. Like that's, let's not do that. You need to focus on, be intentional and focus on a high impact, meaning nutrient dense, meaning more bang for your buck, those foods that have so many amazing things that are already in it. And focusing on those items, again, because I'm all about balance. We have our fun foods, we have our sometimes foods, we have our always foods. And so our always foods should be those high impact food sources that has those essential nutrients to keep our body rolling like it's supposed to. So make sure, there, see, I missed one, right? So glutathione, the body's main detoxifying antioxidant. The body makes glutathione an exercise boost in its production. So when you exercise, that makes it more, right? And that's your body's main detoxifying antioxidant. It also, you can obtain it in foods such as garlic and onions, broccoli, kale, collards, cabbage, cauliflower, watercress, flavonoids like tea, fruits, vegetables, and legumes. So again, drink your water. Drink your water. As we talked about, when you put something in a processor, you need that liquid, right? So remember our small intestine being that processor, you need that water in there. And when we are dehydrated, that's when we can experience constipation. And if we're experiencing constipation, we cannot detox our gut. We can't get those toxins out like your body is trying to. And so I that's why I love the Lord so much, because he knew what we would be encountering daily, and he built us a body that will withstand and that can combat the things that are going to be attacking us daily. And he said, it's okay, babies, I got you. This is what your body's going to do. It's all internal. You got it already. All you have to do is take care of it. And one way we can do that is drinking water. Drink your water. It helps with nutrient absorption. It helps with your detoxification process. Your gut will not be dehydrated if you drink your water. So when I talked about malabsorption, again, you need your water, and remember, your gut is the main source of that nutrient absorption. Okay, and so if we don't have our water, if we're not taking care of our gut, and we're dealing with some malabsorption, these are some ways, these are some tests that you can request from your doctor to say, hey, is my gut absorbing what it's supposed to be absorbing? Okay, am I experiencing some malabsorption? So there's a breath test, and it sounds weird, but they kind of give you a contraption and you do the breath test, and they can have you seen that? I think it's a product that actually does it, and you kind of breathe into it and it tells you what's rolling and what's not rolling in your body. And it's kind of like that. And it will tell you if you're having some gut issues. So that's a good test that you can get requested from your doctor, a stool test. It can let you know if you're having some, malabsorption, some fat, it let you know your fat content in your stool. It can let you know if you're having a parasite infection. We all have parasites, but they should not be wreaking havoc in our gut. And and if we do have a really bad parasite infection, it can impact how your pancreas works. So, and we all know the value of the pancreas. So we can't have that. So you can get a stool test and it can let you know if it's some stuff not going right. You can get a blood test and let you know like your nutrient deficiencies, if you're low in this and low in that. It'll let you know all your markers. It'll even let you know if you have celiac disease. Sweat test, yes, that's a thing. It can help with a diagnosis with cystic fibrosis, which is a issue where, definitely a gut issue. Imaging test, you get an X-ray, colonoscopy, endoscopic ultrasound, all that kind of stuff can help you check the health of your gut. A small intestine biopsy if you feel like something is going on. It'll show evidence of if there's some damage to kind of that inner layer. So you can get that done. These are some tests that you can get ordered from your doctor to check your gut if you feel like you're having some issues. So I talked about the probiotic a lot. How do you pick a really good probiotic? So again, what are probiotics? Probiotics are beneficial microbes, typically bacteria similar to those normally found in your gut, and they help support the balance of the bacteria. In doing so, they may provide some relief if you have irritable bowel syndrome, ulcerative colitis, acute infection diarrhea associated with antibiotic use, C. diff infection. Some specific probiotics can boost your immunity, fight inflammation, potentially have the benefits effect on your cholesterol. So there are a few things you should look for in your probiotics. And, look for the colony forming units, look for the number, your number and the dose, the types of strains that are used, how your probiotic is stored. So some require being refrigerated, some do not. Some people believe that they have to be refrigerated. The probiotic that I use, I love it because they have like a patent on the casing that they have where I do not have to refrigerate it. So I keep it on my nightstand. Take your probiotic at night so that you're not killing your flora in the daytime. The types of strains. So if it just has like the two main strains, I'll have to get the names for you later on in the presentation. The two main strains that's in yogurt, that necessarily doesn't make it all the way to your intestines. So if it just has those two strains in it, you'll need some more. And the ones that I can actually make it to your intestines. Look for brand names. That have been studied. Third-party tested is always best. Unfortunately, when it comes to, because probiotics are considered a supplement in this country, the FDA does not regulate supplements. So it's kind of the wild, wild west in the supplement world where you can literally be taking rice pills, you just never know. But, with the Lord and some heavy research on your issues. So if you want ones that boost your immunity, if you want ones that help with IBS, they can look for specific ones that assist with that. And make sure that they're a really good quality, third-party tested, popular, brand. A lot of people say stay away from store brands. I found some pretty good store brands. But just do your research. And you might need like a super mild probiotic, or you might need like a super gangster one. Who knows? So for what you have going on. I love my probiotic. Again, I told you I keep it on my nightstand. I have taken the ones you put in the refrigerator, but it's just the way my mind works, I have to like be super intentional about going to the refrigerator. I don't feel like it works as strong as the other one I have. And the one that I take is specific to balancing me as a woman, because as you know, with our hormone shifts, we can, our bacterias and all that stuff kind of fluctuate, and my probiotic assists with that. So I love it. So when it comes to junk food, and how that impacts your gut, junk food and healthy food and all that, um, it depends. Healthy food is subjective, okay? What is healthy to you may not be healthy to the next person. My general idea is to focus on the nutrient denseness of said food. Food serves different purposes. What is its intent and what is its purpose? I'm not going to look for protein content in a Reese cup. Okay, I'm going to eat the Reese cup because it's delicious. I'm not going to use it as my protein source as I would, a bag of almonds. So, what is the intent? What is the purpose? We must do our best not to label foods healthy food or junk food. Food is food. Food is fuel. They just have different intents and different purposes. And we just make sure we're using it for what they're supposed to be used for. So if I'm wanting if I'm wanting more carbohydrates, I'm probably going to focus on legumes, pasta, that kind of thing, versus, a cake. Are they both carbs? Absolutely. Do they have different purposes and intents? Absolutely. So it's all about what the food does. What am I intending its use for, and what will it serve in my body? And so this is definitely, people who have to be super intentional about this. Regarding my brothers and sisters who suffer from celiac disease, who have to follow a FODMAP diet, who have diabetes. So again, I know especially when you're first diagnosed with these diseases, with these health issues, you know, the healthcare industry, the healthcare, um, your healthcare partners can, and again, they're your partners, they work for you. Your healthcare partners can kind of make you feel sad and ashamed for eating certain things. But as long as we have balance, because, we just look to the Lord for that. Our God is a God of balance. Our diet must be balanced. Okay. So here are a few godly reminders, you know, who gave himself for us to redeem us from all wickedness and purity, for himself a people that are his very own, eager to do what is good. That's Titus 2:14. And what are you waiting for? Get up, be baptized, and wash away your sins, calling on his name. Acts 22:16. How much more then will the blood of Christ, who through the eternal Spirit offered himself unblemished to God, cleanse our conscience from the acts that lead to death, so that we may serve a living God? Hebrews 9:14. And the water symbolizes baptism that now saves you also, not the removal from dirt from the body, but the pledge of clear conscience towards God. It saves you by the resurrection of Jesus Christ. 1 Peter 3:21. Many will be purified, made spotless, and refined, but the wicked will continue to be wicked. None of the wicked will understand, but those who are wise will understand. Asking the Lord for wisdom always when it comes to how to nurture our body. Daniel 12:10. 2 Timothy 2:21. Therefore, if anyone cleanses themselves from these, he will be a vessel of honor, sanctified, useful to master, prepared for every good work. So again, being intentional about our body, being intentional about our gut, and remembering that our bodies are vessels of honor, they are sanctified, and that we are using our body to honor and glorify God, and be prepared to do the good work that he's asked us to do. And so let's stay in touch, okay? I am LB Health Consulting on all platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. That's LBM Health Consulting. if you begin to follow me or shoot me a message on any of those platforms. So if you follow me on Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok, shoot me a message with @NBCC. I will send you a bonus video containing a gut healthy recipe. My website is lbmhealthconsulting.com. And so I am so happy that you have decided to attend this workshop with me. And just want to give you the name of those two kind of main bacteria in yogurt, the lactobacillus and the bifidobacterium. And so those again are going to be like kind of your culture starters in your yogurt. You want to look for something more than that. Okay. And so you need something a little deeper, um, a little more than just what would be in yogurt that can kind of make its way, through. So I hope you enjoyed it. I so enjoyed getting in the weeds with you about the gut, about bacteria, about all the fun stuff, and just giving glory to God for what He has given us, our internal detoxification process, being and serving, being the Lord and serving a God who knows what we will encounter, and knowing like, hey, they're going to need this. And just thank you, Lord. Thank you for thinking of us. Thank you for being so mindful. Thank you for giving us all of the various organ systems that can help keep us healthy and help keep our immune system boosted. And if it's not, Lord, help us to find someone and find a process to help us to heal your gut. Because yes, our gut can get out of whack. There was a point where my gut was all kind of way out of whack. And I was able to heal it through prebiotics, probiotics, and gut healthy foods. What is a prebiotic? A prebiotic is kind of a precursor to a probiotic. It is so it's another, again, kind of bacteria supplement, and you would eat it with your food. So it helps create a hospitable environment in your gut for your probiotic to do the cleanup work. I take both. Your prebiotics, you can get it in your food. A good source of prebiotics are avocado, legumes and beans, papaya, or you can also take them in supplement form. And it will say digestive enzymes. Some will say prebiotics. I highly recommend getting some for your gut health. And so if you're having gut issues, if you're fine and you're like, I'm doing great, hey, do what you're doing. But if when it comes to, if it boils down to your supplements and you're like, I don't have no money, what's the most important? Your probiotic. Okay. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope we can keep in touch. And thank you so much again for coming and enjoying this follow-up workshop given to us by the National Black Catholic Congress. God bless.